Hello, this is Troy Espy, your instructor for Library Resources 101, and this is a lecture for April 23rd, 2020. So we've studied databases extensively in this course. We've studied Search at UW, article databases such as EBSCO, and subject databases. Now, most databases are collections of periodicals, and so they're useful for finding articles, which are useful for college research assignments. However, today we're going to explore specialty databases. Now, specialty databases typically don't include periodicals, at least not in the traditional fashion. However, specialty databases can still be useful for college research assignments or just for fun. So today we'll discover specialty databases that feature popular magazines, including some titles you're sure to recognize, videos, including full-length movies, streaming music, images, and maybe a surprise or two. The first specialty database that we're going to explore is eMagazines, which is also called Flipster. They're the same thing. I know it's a little confusing. And there is a direct link from the UWSP Library's homepage for eMagazines. So I'm going to click on that tab now. And then it is going to open the database Flipster. Okay, so normally Flipster contains about 40 current magazines, including popular titles such as Time, Rolling Stone, People, The New Yorker. Now, because of the pandemic, Flipster has given us access to all of their magazines. So that's more than 1,400 of them. And I've been having fun exploring magazines that we normally don't have access to. Now, in the left column are categories, and you can click on a category that interests you and see what magazines are available. So there are adult coloring books, or maybe you're interested in cars. There are fashion magazines, fitness, and if you go all the way down here, there are sports magazines as well, including Sports Illustrated. So let's go ahead and let's explore the category comics and graphic novels. So I'm going to click on that link. And then you are going to see that there are 16 titles in the category of comics and graphic novels. Now, most of these are actually comics themselves, although if you scroll down here, there is a magazine called Comics and Gaming. But let's go ahead and let's look at the comic Riverdale. I've never seen the TV show, but I understand it's pretty popular. So I'm going to click on the title Riverdale, and then Flipster is going to open the most recent issue of the comic book. Now, what's cool about Flipster is that the magazines are laid out identically to the print version. So it's exactly how the magazine appears if you were to buy a print copy at, say, Walgreens or the grocery store. And then what you can do in Flipster is that you can actually just flip through the pages. That's probably where Flipster got its name. And you're going to notice some arrows over here on the right. So I can just flip through the different pages of Riverdale comic book. And again, it's exactly how it appears in the print version. Now, so you can just go page by page if you want, or you can also jump around. So if you hover up here under pages, Flipster brings up all the different pages that appear in this issue of the comic book, and then you can just jump directly to a specific page if you want to. So there you go. Now, by default, Flipster opens the newest issue of a magazine. However, older issues are available, and you can find those by hovering over this option here, All Issues. Now, most magazines go back 2 or 3 years. Now, for Riverdale, you can actually go back to the very first issue of the comic book. So if I kind of scroll over here and go over here to more issues, I'm going to scroll down, and I can go back to the very first issue of Riverdale, which was published in May 2017. So I'm going to click on May 2017, and then over here I'm going to click on the View button to view the May 2017 issue of Riverdale. So I click on View, and then Flipster brings up that issue of the comic, which again, then I can just flip through the different pages. Now, another cool feature in Flipster is that you can actually download and print entire issues of a magazine. So you're going to notice an option over here called Print, and I can print just these 2 pages if I wanted to, or if I select Print All Pages, Flipster will actually create a PDF of the entire comic book. So I'm going to click on Print All Pages. There is the PDF. I'm going to click OK. And then I actually don't want to print it, so I'm going to close that window, but there is the entire comic book as a PDF. Okay. And so if you have a slow internet connection at home, you might want to download a magazine and then read it offline as a PDF. A magazine that I occasionally read in Flipster is Deer and Deer Hunting. And we do subscribe to Deer and Deer Hunting magazine year-round, not just during a pandemic. So I'm going to type in the magazine title, Deer and Deer Hunting, into Flipster, and then I'm going to click on the search button there, and then I get just the one result. And if I click on the title of the magazine, which I'll do now, Flipster will open the newest issue, which happens to be June 2020. So here is the cover of the June 2020 issue of Deer and Deer Hunting magazine. And if you see something that interests you on the cover, you can actually just click on it, and then Flipster will jump directly to that page. So let's say that you are interested in food plots. Okay, so I could just click on the headline of that article here, which I'll do now. And then Flipster takes me directly to that article on page 88. And then I could just flip through the article from there. Now, you can search within individual magazines in Flipster in the search bar up here, but it's a little wonky. So let's say that I'm curious if CWD is mentioned in the magazine. So then I could just enter the keyword CWD into the search bar, and then I do have to click on Enter on my keyboard. Okay, so unfortunately there is no search button in Flipster. And when I do that, Flipster will show me if that word CWD appears anywhere in the magazine. And yes, CWD is mentioned on page 100. And I could click on page 100 to jump directly to the mention of CWD. Okay. So the default is to just search one issue of a magazine at a time. However, you can search across multiple issues simultaneously, which is a much more powerful search technique. So I'm going to switch the default. Instead of this issue, I'm going to switch it to all issues. And now you'll see I get tons of hits. And I can scroll through here, and if I see an article that I like, I can actually just click on that article, and then Flipster will jump right to that article, even if it's from a different issue. So let's say I was curious in this article, A Cure for CWD. I'm just going to go ahead and click on it. And then Flipster is going to open the June 2019 issue of that magazine right to the article. And so there it is. And that can come in handy for college research assignments. Although Deer and Deer Hunting magazine is not a scholarly peer-reviewed journal, I still consider it credible, and I would have no qualms about citing one of its articles in a college research assignment. So that's Flipster. Read it for research or just for fun. Now we're going to look at streaming videos. you can access streaming video databases from the UWSP Library homepage. You just want to click on this tab here, Online Videos. UWSP Library subscribes to 9 streaming video databases. Now there is one caveat with these video databases. They can be finicky. Some only work in certain internet browsers, so if you're having trouble accessing a video, try another browser. But let's look at the first one here, Films on Demand. I'm going to click on that link. And this is Films on Demand, and Films on Demand is a collection of more than 33,000 videos. They're mostly educational films and documentaries on a wide variety of subjects. I call Films on Demand the professor-approved YouTube because I think you're going to notice some similarities to YouTube, but the videos that are in here are from credible sources that your professor will accept for research assignments. And I'll also show you some tools for navigating and citing videos from this database. So I highly recommend Films on Demand if you're a visual learner, and many of us are. So if you learn better from watching a video than from, say, reading an article, Films on Demand could really help you. Now typically we don't use videos as sources for college research assignments, but with Films on Demand it's pretty easy. Let me demonstrate. So let's say that you are writing a research paper on the topic of body image. So I'm going to go to the search bar here and I'm just going to type in body image using the Boolean operator because I want those two words together as a phrase, and then I'm going to search. And I get 173 results. Not bad. And then I can just browse through here and see what looks good. Now one thing you do want to pay attention to are the dates of the video. So this first one here is from 2013, so not too bad. But then this one's 2003, 2002, getting a little bit old. So I do kind of, depending on your topic, I would recommend trying to find some of the newer videos. So let's look at this fourth one here. It's called Body Image, and it's actually a segment from a larger video titled Changing Minds. And this video is from the BBC, so that's definitely a credible source that your professor will accept, and I'll show you how to generate the citation in just a second. So let's look at Body Image. I'm going to go ahead and click on this video. So there's the video, and just like with YouTube, you can just click play and you are on your way. So how to cite this is you want to go down here and there is a citation generator, so you can just click on citation and then you can pick your citation style and copy and paste into your bibliography, and you will have to do that for your homework assignment. Like I mentioned, this segment is from a larger video called Changing Minds, and the entire video is about an hour long. But you'll notice that the video is actually broken up into different segments. And if you click over here under segments, it'll show you those. So I clicked on segments, there's the full program Changing Minds, and then these are the different segments within that video. So the body image segment is really only 3 minutes long. So you don't have to watch the whole hour of the video if you don't want to. You could just watch this 3-minute segment of it. Now, using videos for research assignments can be hard because typically you have to take lots of notes, you got to pause, rewind, and watch over and over again. But you're going to notice with Films on Demand that there is a transcript tab. So I'm going to click on this transcript tab, and Films on Demand is going to show me word for word what is said in this video. And for your homework assignment, I'm going to have you access the transcript of a video and then copy and paste some of the paragraphs into D2L. Okay. Now you're also going to notice with this transcript, you could even print it out. So you actually don't have to take any notes if you don't want to. And then in the transcript, you can also search it. Okay, so I'm wondering if in this video they mention media at all. So I'm going to just type in media and return. And it's actually mentioned 4 times. And then where it's highlighted, you can click on any word in the transcript, and Films on Demand will take you right to that point of the video. So it's pretty cool. So don't be afraid to use videos as sources for research assignments, especially if you're a visual learner. Films on Demand makes it pretty easy. Let's visit another video database. So from the UWSP Library's homepage, I'm going to click on the tab here, Online Videos. And we just looked at films on demand. So now let's look at a different database. Let's look at this one here called DocuSeek. I'm going to go ahead and click on that database. And this is DocuSeek, and it's a collection of full-length documentaries primarily revolving around social issues, so especially the environment. Now these aren't government videos from the U.S. Forest Service in 1960. They're new, cutting-edge, provocative films. Now, if you're passionate about the environment, there are tons of documentaries in this database. In fact, if I scroll down here, there's this spotlight on sustainability, and then these are some of the environmental films that you can watch in DocuSeek. And you can just kind of scroll through here and see if there's anything that jumps out at you. So let's say that we wanted to watch this film here, Plastic Paradise. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that documentary, Plastic Paradise. And then it opens the documentary, and then I can just click on play and watch the entire 57-minute movie on my computer or on my phone. Now, I'm guessing you would watch these documentaries more for your own enlightenment. However, you could use them for college research assignments too. So to generate a citation of a documentary, you need to go down here and you need to click on this credits tab. It's kind of hidden. I actually found it by accident. However, you will have to copy and paste a citation for the quiz. So I'm going to go ahead and click on credits. Okay. And then the first option here is a pull-down menu to generate a citation. So I'm going to click on that pull-down menu. And then I'm just going to pick the first one here, APA 6th edition. And then DocuSeek gives me the citation, which I could then copy and paste into my bibliography. Now, you'll also notice that some films, but not all films, in DocuSeek also have transcripts. So I'm going to click on this link here, Interactive Transcript. And then DocuSeek will show me word for word everything that is said in this film. Okay, and that makes it a lot easier than furiously taking notes. So there's definitely some mind-bending films in DocuSeek that won't be playing anytime soon at Rogers Cinema 7. I'm going to show you one more streaming video database, and that database is called Swank. So I'm going to scroll down here on the online video collections and click on Swank. Now, Swank contains 38 kind of mainstream Hollywood movies. So these movies have been assigned in UWSP classes. However, any pointer can watch the movies. You don't have to actually be in that class. And Swank definitely is one of our more finicky databases. So it only works in, I believe, Chrome and Firefox browsers. I'm not sure it works on Macs at all, and it won't work on your phone unless you download the app. So it's too bad, because there's definitely some good movies in here, including some of my favorites. So there's Do the Right Thing. If you haven't seen I, Tonya yet, it's absolutely hilarious. Lars and the Real Girl, I like that. And then of course The Matrix is one of my all-time favorites. So pretty straightforward. If you want to watch one, so you want to watch The Matrix, you just click on it and click play, and you are off and running. It's really that easy. So if you see any movies on Swank you like, feel free to watch them. We'll move from streaming videos to streaming music by exploring the specialty database Naxos Music Library. To find Naxos Music Library, we want to click on the Find Databases tab from the UWSP Library homepage. And then Naxos, it starts with an N, so I'm just going to click on N here, and then it's the second choice. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Naxos. Now, Naxos Music Library is introducing a new interface, and I'm still kind of getting used to it, so bear with me, but I am going to try this new version. So I clicked on the new version, and then once this loads, you're going to see over here in the left-hand side that Naxos contains over 2.2 million songs, and those songs are taken from over 143,000 albums. So it's pretty vast. Now, you can't download these songs, but you can stream them. And Naxos specializes in classical music, but if you click over here on categories, you're going to see some other types of genres as well. In fact, you might be surprised what you find. For example, the Florida State Marching Band plays a Taylor Swift song in here, or there's a Katy Perry song on accordion. So if you're a music major and you need to listen to a classical piece or an opera, you probably can find it here in Naxos. In fact, Naxos songs often are assigned in music classes, so a lot of music majors will actually download the Naxos app and then listen to the songs on their phones. So Naxos contains a lot of movie soundtracks, and those can be fun. So for example, I'm a Star Wars fan, so up here at the search bar, I'm going to see what Star Wars songs are in here. So I'm just going to type in Star Wars and search. Okay, and actually get 105 results, and I can scroll through these different results. And you notice they're all kind of different from some of the different Star Wars movies. So I'm going to click on this one here, Music of Star Wars 30th Anniversary Edition. So I'm going to click on this one, and it's actually a 7 CD set. And if I want to listen to all 7 CDs, I could just click on play, and it would start playing them all. Now, if you want to listen to a particular song, you can do that as well. So probably my favorite Star Wars song is from The Empire Strikes Back, and it's actually found here on disc 4, and that is the Imperial March, Darth Vader's theme. Now, unfortunately, I can't just click on here and start playing it. I actually have to click on the box to the left and then go back up to the top and then press play. A little wonky. I wish it were simpler than that, but if I press play, it is going to launch specifically into that song. I don't know if you can hear it or not on my screen recording, but it is playing. So pretty easy. I'm going to pause that. And then there are permalinks here in Naxos Music Library. So to get those, you want to click on this Show Static URL. And then once you click on that, it's actually going to put the permalink under each song. So then, say a lot of students, me included, kind of like the Mos Eisley song here. So I believe, no, the Cantina Band underneath. So if you want to share the Cantina Band song from the original Star Wars Episode 4, you could just copy and paste that permalink and then send it to a friend or put it in a browser, and then it automatically launches into that song. So that is Naxos Music Library. I encourage you to explore it and see what you can find. The next database specializes in images. It's called ArtStore. And so we're still back here at the Find Databases webpage, and I'm just going to scroll down here through the A's until I get to ArtStore. There it is. I'm going to click on this link and we'll go into the database. Now, ArtStore contains millions of images from art museums around the world. Now, it specializes in paintings, but it also has sculpture, fashion, photographs, architecture, maps. It's quite vast. So let me demonstrate a search for you. So I kind of like French Impressionism paintings, so I'm going to look for the artist Claude Monet. So I'm just going to type in Claude Monet in the search box. Whoops. Spell his name correctly. Press search. And it's going to bring up 1,400 of his work. So quite quite vast, as I mentioned, and you'll see some of his famous paintings here. If you want to take a closer look at a painting, all you have to do is click on the thumbnail, and that'll actually open the image of the painting there. One thing I really like about ArtStore is it allows you to zoom in on the painting. So if we want to take a closer look at this one, Water Lilies and Japanese Bridge, I'm just going to zoom in real far, and you can actually almost see like the individual paint strokes of this painting. And then all the information about this artwork is in the right-hand column. So it gives you the artist, the title of the painting, what year it was painted, what materials were used, the exact measurements, and it even tells you where the painting exists today. So if you wanted to see this original painting, you would have to go to the Princeton University Art Museum. So ArtStore can be a good place to look for images when you have to do a presentation for class. That's because all the information you need for a citation is included. And so for your homework assignment, I am going to have you find an artwork in ArtStore and then access this information in the right-hand column. Now, ArtStore will generate a citation for you. So if you click on Cite this item, it will give you the different writing styles. These are not very accurate. I actually probably would not use them. I would just create the citation by hand using the information over here. So if you have trouble with that, please ask a librarian. We can do that. So ArtStore contains more than just paintings, and I will show you that. So I'm back on the ArtStore homepage, and this time I'm going to type in Marilyn Monroe. And type in her name and click on search. And I get almost 600 results, and many of these are paintings. They're paintings by Andy Warhol. But let's say that we were looking for photographs of Marilyn Monroe. So we could apply that filter over here in the left-hand column. So for under classification, just show me the photographs. And there's over 400 of them, including many of them that I've never seen before. I kind of like this one over here. This one is of her just eating a hamburger in a drive-thru. And then all of the information about this photograph is over here. Now, you can download images in ArtStore, but it makes you create a free account. So that's kind of irritating, but you can do it. And then sometimes when you download the images, they're kind of small, and I find that annoying as well. So you might just want to take a screenshot of this image instead. But if you like art, it's fun to get lost for a few hours in ArtStore. Now that you've watched the lecture, please complete the quiz. The quiz is due before midnight on Monday, April 27th. It's worth 6 points, and you will lose 0.6 of a point for every day that it's overdue. For centuries, education, particularly college, has relied on the lecture and the written word to teach students. However, we know that these teaching methods largely don't work. And that was before technology distractions and short attention spans. Now, colleges are trying to break away from relying strictly on lectures and reading, but it's a slow process. As college students, I'm hoping you can help by sharing your experiences. How do you learn best? We've touched on this topic previously, but it affects library resources. When professors require library materials for research assignments, we automatically assume books and articles. Today, we learn that the library offers more than books and articles. But are these alternatives helpful to you? I want to know. So for the discussion, I ask you to compare a scholarly article to a music video on the same topic. Which format helps you learn better? Why? As usual, there is no right or wrong answer. I truly want to learn from you. Now in your post, please share your preferred learning style. Do you learn best by reading, watching videos, attending lectures, hands-on projects, group work? Why does that style work best for you? or does it depend on what you're trying to learn? Please share specific examples of when a certain learning style has worked or failed for you. What were you trying to learn, and how did that teaching method succeed or fail in that situation? The discussion post is due before midnight, Monday, April 27th. No late posts will be allowed, so if you do not post by the deadline, you will receive a 0. You can earn 1 extra credit point. The scholarly article and the music video have a specific connection. Yes, they're both on the same topic, but there's a more specific link than that. If you can identify that link, I will give you 1 point extra credit. Now, the connection is fairly obvious, so you don't have to search through the article's references or watch the video's credits to find it. In fact, you can spot the connection without opening the article or playing the video. But if you identify the specific connection, I'll give you 1 point extra credit. This is one of my favorite lectures to give in this course. I hope some of the library resources surprised you and that you'll have fun exploring them. More importantly, I hope some of the library resources will be useful for college research assignments. Thank you for watching the lecture, and please contact me if you have any questions.